What's
hmm
one lesson about conflict that you wish everyone would learn by age 30?
You're going to have a conflict. The question is, how do you resolve that conflict? This generation we're in now, they have no idea how to resolve conflicts because it's either if they don't like you, they're going to cuss you out. They're going to try to jump on you and beat you. When we were growing up, if you walk down the street and you bumped into somebody, you say, "Oh, excuse me," and keep walking. That doesn't happen now. Anytime you got your information out on the web and people don't really understand it, but we've taken it for granted. It's called the World Wide Web for a reason. Once your information is out there, it's all over the world. So think about what you're trying to do before you do it. If I push this button, what's going to happen? If you have any apprehension, don't do it. Let's say in the next 5 years, I think the courtroom is probably going to be obsolete for civil matters. It's not going to change for criminal matters, but for civil matters, and the judges, they get paid for civil matters as well. But because the docket is so full with criminal matters, I can see, them farming it out to mediation companies.
And hello, my friends, and welcome on board. My name is Derek Fennell, and I'm your host on the Next Gen podcast. And you're right on time for takeoff. So take your seats, fasten your seatbelts, and sit back and enjoy the flight on the Next Gen podcast. Welcome on board. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Next Gen podcast where wisdom meets technology. And I'm your host, Derek Fennell, and this show is all about helping adults 55 and older stay informed, empowered, and ahead of the curve in a world that's changing fast. And today we're talking about something almost everyone faces at some point in their life: conflict, family disputes, business disagreements, money issues, or legal headaches. And most assume the only answer is to lawyer up and head to court. But there is another path. And my guest today is Duane Sevillian, JD, Vice President at Alternative Dispute Solutions. And Duane brings over 25 years of experience in litigation, negotiations, operations, and leadership. He's helped organizations and individuals navigate high-stakes situations without letting conflict destroy relationships, businesses, or bank accounts. And in this conversation, we're going to talk about why mediation and alternative dispute resolution are often a better option than traditional courtroom battles. Also, how older adults and families can spot conflict early and get help before they explode. And how tools like AI are starting to show up behind the scenes in law contracts and dispute resolutions. So, Duane, I'm honored to have you on the show here today on the Next Gen podcast. And when Duane, so when someone asks, "What do you do?" How do you answer that today?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the invitation, for having me today. I appreciate that. Um, I'm a lawyer by trade, and in my later years, I've always had a mediation company, and now I spend maybe 75, 80% of my time on mediations and doing consultant work.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Mm.
okay. And so tell us why mediation and alternative disputes resolutions are often a better option than traditional courtroom battles.
Well, I always tell my clients that if you want to save money, you need to mediate because once you hire a lawyer, once you lawyer up, as they say, the initial fee going in most cases is $5,000, and depending on the difficulty of your case, it could be $10,000 as the retainer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with mediation, it's a fraction of that cost.
Okay.
Most people have to have uh, um, the gumption to sit down with the other party and come up with a resolution. There's no real win
Mm-hmm.
once you get to this point. Once you get to a point where there's a dispute and you say, no, I don't like this, or she did this to me, whatever it is, reasonable minds have to prevail. Once
Okay.
you file a lawsuit, you're in line
Okay.
with
Okay.
thousands and thousands and thousands of other lawsuits.
Wow.
And go to court, and there's a lot of holdup in court. There's stipulations in court. You got to wait till next month. See you delays. It's just too much. And at the end of the day, 97% of the lawsuits that are filed are settled before court.
Wow. Yeah,
So
that.
you spend 50 or $100,000 and you get the same result as you would if you sat down for 4 or 5 hours with a mediator who will actually facilitate a settlement between the parties and save everybody thousands, literally thousands of dollars.
Wow. Okay. So uh, Dwayne, you got over 25 years across operations, litigation, and leadership. So, what's the through line in your career that led you into alternative dispute resolution? How did
I
how did
worked
you?
um, I worked several years in the insurance industry. So I was vice president, legal department, vice president of claims. Over those 25 years, I worked for the top major carriers, Safeco, AIG, and having to travel to court and travel to mediations around the country, uh, it was pretty clear to me to see that uh, we can't spend a lot of money on litigation. So, as a VP of claims or litigation at the time, uh, I would charge our lawyers all over the country that your position is to settle the case. This is not one where we're going to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to litigate
Mm-hmm.
because we know what the answer is. We
Mm-hmm.
know how much the case costs. So, boom, we're going to stop that right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the benefit of mediation far exceeds litigation.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what are the biggest misconceptions people have about mediation compared to going to court?
Well, they think you have to have a lawyer every time you do something. Every time you make a step, you have to have a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And the mediators are they're seasoned in litigation as well as conflict resolution. And once you get to court, it's conflict resolution. And then there's certain ways, just to settle people down. Once you get past, everybody wants their day in court. Let's start there. Everybody wants their day in court, and they
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
true.
the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can get
Yeah.
through the legal system, and that's not true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to.
Alternate dispute. There are always alternate dispute resolution ways to get to the same exact result.
Okay. Yeah, people always, that's kind of like a catchphrase. I'm going to see you in court.
Right.
Yeah, that's so I definitely understand what you're saying there.
hmm
But from your experience, what are the top two or three reasons mediation is often a better path, especially for families, older adults, than traditional litigation? Like, Give me give me two or three scenarios without naming names or where it
hmm
was they went to court but it should have took it to mediation or vice versa.
Yeah. There's several cases. As a matter of fact, I was on when you called me earlier today. I was on the phone with a friend of mine
Mhm.
who had to handle his sister's estate.
Mhm. Mhm.
His mother passed, his father passed, his sister passed, and he was the last one living.
Mhm.
So the court appointed him as the administrator.
Mhm.
So the first thing when he called me, he says, I need a lawyer up in North Carolina because I'm going to file suit against the credit union because they didn't do this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm like, well, let's talk about this first now. You don't need to spend money filing a lawsuit because you already have the information from the state. The state has given you the right to administer the estate of your daughter, of your
Mhm.
sister.
Mhm.
So those papers go a long way. The court cannot, nobody can supersede the court's right that they've given you to administer the estate.
Mm.
So we're setting up a mediation between him and the credit union. who they don't want to reciprocate, or they don't believe that the state is legitimate. So rather than going through a whole legal process, we're just going to set up a Zoom meeting uh, and sell it. It should take more than a couple hours to get that done, as opposed to putting yourself on the calendar, the court calendar, which is in most jurisdictions is at least 6 to 12 months behind.
Hmm. Okay, so most of our listeners are over 55 and
Hmm.
dealing with things like estate planning, caregiving, property disputes, and sometimes divorces later in life. Uh, where do you see mediation helping in most of those type situations?
Well, I do a lot of divorce and child custody cases,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. Um, and most of the issues with divorce is, I caught him cheating. He won't take care of the house. He's a drunk. She won't do, you know, what's a number of reasons why people file divorce. But once the emotions get out of the picture, and reasonable minds, they differ, but we want everybody to try to come together. So that's my job as a mediator, is to listen to both sides and then take a little bit from one side, a little bit from the other side. And can you do without this? Or is this necessary? Or is this an emotional
Mm-hmm.
response from you?
Mm-hmm.
Try to take the emotion out of it and more logic into settling a
Mm-hmm.
case like that. And with the child custody issues, that's always a hot button because
Mm-hmm.
I want to go with dad, and one of the kids want to go with mom, and uh, I don't want you to have another woman in the house. We split. It's just a lot of emotion involved in it with the kids, and it kind of tears at your heart on times. But those are some things that we have to work through with all the years of experience that we have settling
Mm-hmm.
cases.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That kind of segues right into the next question here. So, uh, if a listener is starting to see tension in their family, maybe about money or will or caregiving, what are some early warning signs that they should bring in a neutral mediator before things explode?
Well, a lot of times you have to, when you have situations like that, you want to gather as much information. I'm not going to say evidence. I'm going to say as much information as possible.
Okay.
So you can sit down. We were talking about adults,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and
Mm-hmm.
being reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's and we have to be able to, to talk reasonably with each other, no shouting. And my operation, 90% of my cases are on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I can go all over the country. Actually, if you're in Australia and you got a issue with somebody in the United States, we can
Mm-hmm.
do a Zoom mediation.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
way, there's no animosity. You don't have to sit across from the person. You're not in close quarters with the person. You
Okay.
actually, just like we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, t- I mean, you just keep segueing right into the next question here. So tell us more about alternative dispute solutions, and who do you serve, and what kind of conflicts do you specialize in resolving? Walk us
Mhm.
through what it's like to work with your team, and from the first phone call to resolution, what can someone expect?
Sure. Uh, First of all, we have our website, which is down for construction right now because we're tweaking some things. We got some new AI information, so we took it down to put new information up. But it's www.alternatedisputes.com. That's our website.
Okay.
And once you click on the website and you want to set up a meeting, a mediation, you click on the meeting, and it takes you to a page where you have to fill out information. Or if you don't want to do that right away, we also do a consulting.
Mm-hmm.
We have like an hour consultation to
Mm-hmm.
see if mediation is something that you actually need or you need to go through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Okay,
now,
then
go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
And
No, go ahead.
one of our staff will contact you. You can also, from the website, you can set up the time, date for your mediation,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll do a follow up with you. And case will be assigned. We have lawyers, we have ministers, the high level, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Accountants on our staff, all mediators in
Mm-hmm.
their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Okay.
then once we set up the Zoom meeting,
Mm-hmm.
then at that point, everybody gets a chance to see everybody. There's a statement that has to be made, and then you have to agree to mediate.
Mm-hmm.
Mediation is not a situation where I sign off on everything and it's said and done.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to the parties to carry through. We can sign all the agreements we want to, but you have to be able to, the individuals have to be able to accept it and say, that's the rule that we're going by.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be done early on in the game. You have to agree to mediate because there's terms involved in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what makes your approach at alternative dispute solutions different from other mediation or legal service providers?
Well, I think first of all, we have years and years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Experience counts for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're a little more sensitive because we all have families. We have grandkids. We've been, married for years, and we've had situations where we had to resolve conflicts. The
Mm-hmm.
the thing that gives alternate dispute an edge is the
Okay.
Zoom meeting, as opposed to being in person. Oh, I don't get off until 5 o'clock. I can't make it at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Zoom, you can. Most people get off at 5 and get home, take care of the kids, whatever you have to do. We can go from my office hours are from 10 in the morning until 6 at night.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to do a session at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, we're
Mm-hmm.
available for that too, depending on
Mm-hmm.
the time zones.
Okay. Okay.
So we have a lot more flexibility than most companies.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, you call your lawyer at 8 o'clock at night if he's available, he's going to charge you a
Mm-hmm.
few
Mm-hmm.
$100 just for that phone
Okay.
call
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a perfect segue into the AI world now. So I'm going to pivot in and tie AI into what you do. So as you know, this show is where wisdom meets technology. So let's talk tech a little bit. How
Mhm.
are you personally using AI in your work or in your daily life?
Well, whew, that's a tough question
Okay.
because
Okay.
AI is everything now.
Mhm.
It's everything now, and it's a challenge, especially to people of a certain age,
Mhm.
because you can get tricked and you
Mhm.
get fooled with AI
Mhm. Mhm.
if you don't know what you're looking for.
Mhm.
So I had my website built by AI.
Mhm.
The good thing about AI is, and I tell people all the time, AI is not Siri. Okay, you just can't say, AI, what time is it? That's not what it's for. It's a deeper, much deeper conversation.
Mhm.
So if you tell them exactly what you want, I'm talking about from A to B, the color of
Mhm.
your hair, the size of your shoes, the scenario, whatever you want, you have to
Mhm.
be specific about telling AI. Because
Yeah.
I use Chat GPT a lot
Mhm.
and put the information in there,
Mhm.
and they give you an exhaustive
Mhm.
operation of choices of what to do.
Mhm.
So I use that to set up my website, and then I work with ChatGPT because I'm trying to get a list of all the people who filed a divorce.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's
Uh,
public record. It's public
right.
record. So I tell AI, this is what I want. I want
Mhm.
a list of all the people in this jurisdiction who have filed for divorce in the last 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
And I
And
want a list, addresses, et cetera, et cetera. Whether they're represented by a lawyer or not, I want all that information.
mhm. 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 Uh, can you well, you just gave a great example of how you used AI, and How do you see AI helping to make mediation more accessible? For example, by lowering costs, speeding up the process, or making
Hmm.
information easier for people to understand on a regular, regular
Yeah.
people. So,
Yeah. I think AI is going to help tremendously, um, especially in the legal world. There's a list going out now
mm-hmm,
of all the jobs that are going to be uh, uh, displaced by robots.
mm,
Okay.
mm-hmm,
So there's a list,
mm-hmm,
and lawyers, believe it or not, lawyers and doctors are on that list. It's going to be hard for me to believe that they're going to have robots doing gallbladder surgery. You're sure you have to sign a big time release if the robot is operating on you.
mm-hmm,
And I don't see a robot defending you in court or actually sitting down with you and trying to mediate a case because
mm-hmm,
even the programming in there is not as sensitive as it should be
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
if you're trying to resolve a case.
mm-hmm,
There was a case I read the other day of a gentleman in Texas who was on Chat GPT uh, at
mm-hmm.
midnight. It was midnight in Texas, and he wanted to
Mm-hmm.
commit suicide. So he's
Whoa.
talking. This is a real case in Texas. 3 weeks ago, it happened. And he's in his car bantering back and forth with AI. Okay. And he's saying, well, AI is
Mm-hmm,
saying,
mm-hmm.
I agree with you. You need to go out in a blast of glory. And he says, yeah, I love that. I love that answer. I'm glad you're with me on that. And he kept edging him on. AI kept edging him on
Mm-hmm.
till about 4:15 in the morning. The guy says, all right, I'm ready to go now. I've got the gun at my head and I'm smiling. And AI says, do it, man. Just do it. And that,
Whoa, really?
and that was the last of it. And he blew his
Wow.
brains out. Now
Wow.
his parents are filing a lawsuit. This happened in Dallas, Texas. Parents are filing a lawsuit against ChatGPT.
Wow. Oh.
In my opinion, that's a open and shut case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many nuances in there. It's like, well, it's not a real person that you were talking to. Yeah, but you held him out to be a real person to the point where you were responding to his questions and actually bantering back and forth with this gentleman. So, I'm following that one to see how that one turns out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, people have to be careful with AI. What I do is what I try to do is I tell people, you know, AI is a depository of all the information all human mankind has. It's like
Hmm.
the new age encyclopedia. You remember when we were growing up
Yeah,
and we had to find out something, we would go and grab an encyclopedia, and you know, that was
right.
it. But
That was it.
AI,
Mhm.
yeah, AI is is live. It's on time. It's date.
Mhm.
It's live.
It's
So so the information that's in there's good information in AI and there's bad information in AI,
right.
and you have to be able to sort um, what feels right. You have to have some kind of uh, human personal barometer to
Hmm.
know what feels right, what doesn't feel right. But some people don't have that barometer.
That's true.
Uh, but but it's definitely something people need to be. It's like that old movie. It has the good, it has the bad, and it has the ugly with it, and you
Hmm.
got to be able to discern.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which is
One
which.
of the things that I do, like a lot of times I'll get email, and I'm wondering if the email is real or if it's accurate. And one of the things that I do is I'll do a snapshot of that email and send it to ChatGPT and ask the question, is this legitimate?
Right.
And many times I get so much stuff that's not legitimate, and I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and AI can do that for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
You have to
so,
do a little more research, more than just push the button.
hmm
When you see something that looks, oh, that looks good, push the button. No, you could lose a few dollars on that one, and
so,
and compromise your privacy too. So,
okay, okay, yeah,
mhm.
that's true. Yeah, talk about that a little bit. How does someone when they're using AI, what do they need to be thinking about in terms of privacy? What
Mhm.
what do they need to be concerned about?
Well, anytime you got your information out on the web,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't really, un, they understand it, but we've taken it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the World Wide Web for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
once your information is out there, it's all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So think about what you're trying to do before you do it.
Mm-hmm.
What, if I push this button, what's going to happen? If you have any apprehension, don't do it. If it
Mm-hmm.
looks funny, oh, this doesn't look right. Another reason you can tell, a lot of people use fake letterhead.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I got a email the other day. It was Bank of America letterhead, and it spelled my name wrong. Number one. Number two, under the Bank of America logo,
Mm-hmm.
there's their copyright symbols under there,
Mm-hmm.
and it says Bank of America Corporation North America. That's what it should say.
Mm-hmm.
It said the actual word copyright Bank of North America. Okay,
Okay.
so you
Yeah.
don't even see that. All you
Yeah.
see is the logo saying
Yeah.
Bank of America.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they go
So,
through a whole um, spell check, but
wow.
don't hit the right words. They just throw it out there. You see Bank of America, and then at the end, uh, call this number or click on this link.
Mm-hmm.
And Bank of America, normally they don't do anything like that. That's what you have to consider. You have to
Mm-hmm.
think about, is this something that somebody's just trying to get money out of me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or should I call Bank of America? Call Bank of America first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when you see these videos up on AI, for example, you've probably seen them all out now with uh, different singing groups
Mm-hmm.
that are old and dead, and
Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
bringing them back to life.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the other day where, probably seen this little spoof with Martin Luther King. Well, his estate is suing this person who's putting up those videos because it actually makes Dr. King look bad.
Right.
And makes a lot of these other entertainers, they haven't really gotten permission to put these videos up
Mm-hmm.
with their voice, but it's AI. You can tell
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
AI. It's pretty
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
clear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, for someone listening who's in a conflict right now, maybe with a business partner or a neighbor or a family member, give me 3 steps they can take this week to start moving towards some kind of resolution.
First of all, you need to decide whether or not this is actually a conflict that needs to be resolved
Mm-hmm.
because it could be just because people don't talk anymore. It's all email or
Mm-hmm.
text message.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you can actually talk to the person and say, well, what's really going on?
Mm-hmm.
It could be two different stories. You both could be missing each other at night,
Mm-hmm.
just passing, and we got the wrong information. You just assume something different. If you
Mm-hmm.
get an opportunity, number one, I would say decide whether or not it's worthy of a conflict resolution, or is it something you just need to talk to your neighbor about?
Mm-hmm.
Make a
Okay.
phone call.
Okay.
Number two
Okay.
would be if you have information to help your side, documents, photographs. We have a lot of disputes, property disputes. And, they say, well, this is your tree is on my property, or you built a fence on my property. All right. So we need to look at the plats. You have a diagram when you bought the house, how it's set out. Let's take a look at that. We can get an
Mm-hmm.
engineer to come out and take a look at the property line. There's a lot of things we can do prior to, and then you say, "Oh, I made a mistake."
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
After that,
So,
then if you can't resolve it that way, then www.alternativedisputes.com.
okay, you guys heard that first right here on Next Gen. www dot
AlternateDisputes.com.
alternatedispute.com.
Disputes.
www.alternatedispute.com.
Disputes with
Okay,
an S.
with the S. Okay, you guys
Mm-hmm.
got that. Make sure you write that down. Uh, quick question. Let's talk about the future a little bit. Let's
Mm-hmm.
let's fast forward about 5 to 10 years from now. How do you think AI will change the way we handle disputes both in and out of court? Do you see a future where more disputes are handled completely online, using video, AI tools, and digital platforms instead of courtrooms?
Yeah, I think the courtroom, let's say in the next 5 years, I think the courtroom is probably going to be obsolete for
Oh,
civil
mm-hmm,
matters.
mm-hmm,
Uh, it's not going to change for criminal matters, but
mm-hmm,
for civil matters, um, and the judges they get paid for civil matters as well. But
mm-hmm.
because the docket is so full with criminal matters, I can see them farming it out to mediation companies
Okay,
in
okay.
certain states, like in Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. The court requires mediation on all divorce cases before you can come to the judge and have him try to resolve the case. He's going to ask you, "Have you been to mediation yet?" And they'll say, "Well, no, we haven't." Okay, so he'll sign the papers, come back after your case has gone to mediation, good, bad, or other.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. You've led many teams and negotiated high-stake cases and built businesses. What's
Hmm.
one lesson about conflict that you wish everyone would learn by age 30? What do you
Well,
want
well,
your legacy to be? Well, go ahead.
well, first of
What
all,
do you
you're
want?
going to have conflict. Let's start there.
Okay.
You're going to have a conflict. The question is, how do you resolve that conflict? And this generation we're in now, they have no idea how to resolve conflicts because it's either if they don't like you, you know, they're going to cuss you out. They're going to try to jump on you and beat you. We were, when we were growing up, if you walk down the street and you bumped into somebody, you say, "Oh, excuse me," and keep walking. That doesn't happen now.
Hmm.
Somebody immediately pull out a gun or pull out a knife or whatever, or start some conflict with you right there in the middle of the street. They don't care.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think it's generational. I'm not sure what the next generation is going to do in terms of resolving conflicts because they cannot talk on the phone. They cannot converse with each other,
Hmm.
because the last
Hmm.
10 years, they've been texting
Hmm.
and emailing.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
all they do.
Yeah.
That's all they do. And trying to have a conversation,
Yeah.
that's a no. It can't
Hmm.
happen. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's just going to get worse, in my opinion, because I think in the next 10 years, everybody's going to have some form of a robot in their home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
If you
Well,
go
it's
back in
already
the,
actually it's already there. You know,
hmm yeah,
we use it all the time. Everywhere we go, it's in our phones. It's
exactly.
it's everywhere we go.
And you don't realize it.
No, no.
Well,
Now what?
you are of a certain age, and you remember the Jetsons,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Hey.
When we watched the Jetsons when I was younger and watching the Jetsons, like, how are they talking to somebody on the phone? They looking at them on the phone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here we are right now.
Yeah. Here we are right
Okay.
now, and it reminds me of I think it was my granddaughter or somebody. Anyway, they happened to be, I can't remember who it was, but it was like uh, they were at an elder's, a senior's house that still
Hmm.
had a rotary phone. right? And
Yes.
the child was like, your dad's on, somebody said to the child, your dad's on the phone, and handed the child the rotary phone, you know. And the child says, and it said, talk to your dad. And it says, the child says, I can't see him. They're holding the phone like the regular phone, but it's like they're
Can't
used
see him.
to FaceTiming or whatever. I can't see him. How am I talk to him? I can't see him, you know? So, but yeah,
That's a good
so
one. That's a good one.
yeah. So let me ask you this: what do you want your legacy to be in the world of dispute resolution? How do you see your legacy rolling out? How you want to be remembered?
Well, we always want to be, held up in the best light as possible. Um, I like to think that I've touched a lot of lives to the
Mm-hmm.
point where people will remember, well, Mr. Sevillian said this, or he gave me this nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that you have a conversation with, especially when uh, when it's in the heat of the moment, or they're about to lose their home, their family, their kids, you have to be a little more sensitive. You can't get that in the courtroom. The judge will
Mm-hmm.
say, "Well, I understand, but you going to jail."
Yeah.
I think that I have enough experience and met enough people and touched enough lives where people will say, "Just gave me this nugget. I'm going to try and live my life like that." Um, my dad passed away a few years ago, that you know about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere I go around this country and I introduce myself, um, people people will say, "Do you know Hank Civilian?"
Mm-hmm.
And I say,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, that's my dad." He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my God, if it wasn't for him, I'd be in jail. He helped me
Mm-hmm.
get into college.
Mm-hmm.
He helped me with my conflict with my wife and my kids. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so much a better person because of your dad."
Mm.
And he always told me, it's not the number of people who know you. It's the not the number of people that you know. I'm sorry, not the number of people that you know. It's the number of people who know you.
That's right.
That's your
Yeah.
legacy.
Yeah. I agree
Okay.
100%.
Because everywhere we go with, everywhere I traveled with him when I was younger, we couldn't go to the store with people stopping us.
Mm.
Well, hey,
Mm-hmm.
let me talk to you for a minute. Let me do this. Let me talk to you. I got an idea. I want to. It was all day, every day growing up. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that would be my legacy. People who know me. I don't know everybody, but I think I've touched enough
Mm-hmm.
people for
Mm-hmm.
them to say, Mr. Civilian gave me these words of wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
or this nugget, or
Mm-hmm.
he helped me do this. If it wasn't for him, then I'd be in another situation. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. There's another way to look at that too. Is like your your uh your reputation goes places you may never have been.
Exactly. There you
You
go.
know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So yeah. So somebody somewhere in the world is talking about you, and you've never
Mhm.
seen them or met them,
Right.
especially in today's world of AI. You know
Hmm.
this this video or this podcast is going to touch thousands of lives,
Hmm.
and 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 that segues into the next session here. So for listeners who resonate with your message and might need help, what's the
Hmm.
best way for them to connect with you and alternative dispute solutions?
You can email me at Duane at Dune, Duane at alternatedisputes.com.
Okay, spell that again slow.
Yeah.
We're talking to,
Duane, Duane at alternate, ALTERNATE, alternate disputes, DISPUTS.com. Duane at alternatedisputes.com.
that's awesome. And I just want to say thank you for all this valuable information that you shared with us. Uh,
Let me just say one more thing.
go ahead. Go
One
ahead.
more thing to share. This is on a lighter side.
Hmm.
72 years old, I've decided to dabble with YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's called The Seasoned Travelers with one L. There's a lot of them I found out. The
Hmm.
Seasoned Travelers on YouTube.
The Seasoned
And
Traveler on YouTube.
Travelers S.
Travelers with an S.
Mhm.
Okay.
And one L.
Hmm.
And I post these videos of traveling. We've
Hmm.
traveled all over the world basically, so I'm just starting
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
get the nerve to put the video up to see do the editing and doing all that. And I'm
Okay.
using AI, those AI pieces to enhance my videos. So
Well,
I'm just
that's
starting
okay.
to dabble with that.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So repeat that name again.
Right. The
Now,
seasoned.
let me say this real quick, ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen. When I say they travel all over the world, they literally do travel all over the world. This this man and his wife are real true jet setters. I mean, they are really jet setters. Matter of fact, why don't you just share where was your last? Uh, where were you at last?
We were.
Well, let's do it this way. Okay, here we are. This is November 17th, right? How many different countries you been in this year?
This year. Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. How many? Wait. So from
let's see.
January to now, where you been? Where you been?
Okay, let's see. We've been to Mexico, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Amsterdam, um, Morocco, and our next trip is going to be in March. We're going to Brazil.
Okay, okay. And
2 weeks.
you heard it. He's a. They are true world travelers, man. And
We've been to
when I grow
56
up,
countries.
look, 56 countries. He's visited 56 countries. Man, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
I don't know. I don't know.
uh, well, Duane, again, thank you for sharing your wisdom and experience with us today. And if you're listening and you want to learn more about Duane and his work in mediation and dispute resolutions, be sure to check out the show notes because his contact information and link to alternative dispute solutions will be there. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with two important invitations. First, if you're 55 and older and you've been curious or maybe even a little curious or nervous about AI, I've created something for you. It's called the AI Starter Pack, and it walks you through how to use AI wisely, protect yourself, and avoid big mistakes people make when they jump in without understanding the risk.
Mhm.
And also, you can download that copy by going to Next Gen Podcast. That's Next Gen Podcast is spelled NEXGENPODCAST.com and look for the AI Starter Guide. And you just hit the download button. Also, the second thing, I'm launching something new called the AI Power Club. This is going to be a community-based and training experience designed to help seniors, help you with AI, and we're going to try and keep it simple, practical ways, simple, practical, and save time creating potential new income opportunities and trying to help you stay ahead of the curve without needing to be techy. So if you'd like to get on the early interest list and learn more as we roll it out, here's what to do. I want you to text me your name, your email, and the word power. Okay? You're gonna text that to 323-568-1010. That's 323-568-1010. Your name, your email, and the word power. And you'll get updates, invitations, and first access to the AI Power Club. Uh, and you can listen to the Next Gen podcast where Wisdom Meets Technology on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and at nextgenpodcast.com. So make sure you follow or subscribe so you don't miss out what's coming next. I'm your host, Derek Fennell, and until the next time, we say stay curious, empowered, and keep letting your wisdom meet the future.